Good afternoon to whoever just came in. I'm also going to put it in the chat. So I just really wanted to come on because I had promised that I was going to come on this week. Oh, hey, Chop. So I really wanted to come on and, well, I'll ask Chop. Chop, how are you feeling today? And you can feel however you want, meaning in a positive way, meaning if you feel like crap, you feel like crap. If you feel great, you feel great. If you are mad about something, you're mad. But seriously, how do you feel? Sorry if you hear my background. I am literally doing like 12 things at once as usual. But the reason why I titled it "How Are You Feeling Any Better" is because again, a lot of things are going on. I'm doing well. I'm good, actually. A lot of things are going on in public and in private. A lot of things are going on with our country. A lot of things are going on with the culture. A lot of things are going on with YouTube. So I'm asking people, are you feeling any better with everything that has transpired, whether it was on a national platform, whether it was something that happened on like Real Housewives of Potomac or Atlanta, whether it happened on YouTube, are you feeling any better? Because there's a ringing theme here, and I want everyone to identify that theme for themselves because it may not mean the same thing for everyone. Oh, hi, Miss Carla. And I say that it won't mean the same for everyone because some people don't care about what happens on social media. Some people don't care about what happens on reality TV. And unfortunately, some people don't care about what happens with our country and the nation. So that's why I'm like, hey, are you feeling any better? Are you watching what's going on? Are you commenting on what's going on? Meaning, do you have an opinion one way or another? For instance, I'm sure everybody knows, or if you don't know, now you know, I have a really big interest in what's going on nationally. Not so much what's going on, on social media, but what's going on nationally. I really care about what's going on. And the reason why I care about what's going on is because I understand, I identify with a lot of the armed forces. So tomorrow is Veterans Day. Anyone who hears this broadcast and you are a veteran, happy Veterans Day. That being said, I really do care about what's going on with the presidency because a lot of people don't understand. If the person who's president, and I'll just do a brief civics breakdown for you. If the person who's currently president of the United States is impeached and removed, then it goes to the vice president. However, if the vice president is also implicated and impeached, then it would go to the Speaker of the House. So a lot of people don't realize that the person who could wind up being president for the next year or 8, 9 months, whatever, is actually Nancy Pelosi, depending on how this stuff goes. And this is not a theory, this is absolute fact. That is the way the chain of command works. So it's very important that people get involved. Of course, we as the public, we have the court of public opinion. However, as of right now, we can't really do anything about it. We can call our congressmen or our senators if you care that much, but we can't really do anything about it. But we do need to understand and identify how this affects our future, how it affects our future with different governments. Meaning, and I was looking about it, you can liken this to the stuff that happens on YouTube. You really could. You've got a group of people who seemingly try to extort. Everybody says quid pro quo. They use words like that to disinterest the public. Let's use words that everybody understands. You have somebody who seemingly tried to extort another group in order to get their way on something, and it came out. The plot failed or the plan failed, however you want to say it, but it came out. And now you've got that group supporters, and please tell me if this does not sound like stuff we see every single day. You've got that group supporters, even though that person was wrong in what they did, you've got that group supporter who is sitting up there ride or die, saying, no, they're not even contesting the facts, because you cannot contest pure fact. But they're sitting up there and they're like, well, what about this? What about that? They're throwing everything at the wall, hoping it sticks. Those are the things that happens every day. And that's the reason why I'm like, hey, maybe we should take interest in it. Maybe we should look at it. I know a lot of people say, well, I can't. You can do a whole lot. Your voice does matter. Please don't ever think that it does not. Something else that I wanted to bring up is health awareness. Again, everybody talks about it for maybe a day or so. It needs to be at the forefront of every conversation. I cannot stress this enough. Check on your strongest friend, because you never know what's going to happen to that person. You never know what that person is going through. So I don't know how everybody else's friendships work, but I've had friends for 20 years. That being said, I always check in on them. I may not do it daily, but I always check in, because at least once a week. Make sure that they're okay. Make sure that if you have a friend and you know when your friend lying to you. That being said, always make sure that they're doing okay, because you never know. You just never know. You never know when a lot of things are piling on them. You never know when things from the past are coming back to just weigh on their hearts and on their minds. You never know when they are struggling. So please do check on your strongest friend, because you just never know. And although, yes, Ty Couture did take his life, you always have to wonder who's checking on him. How often was he being checked on? Sorry for that background. I am on my laptop and I just got an email about something, so that's awesome. Never a dull moment. But that being said, I think it's super important that you just check on each other, check on your friends, and continue on from there. This is probably going to be really brief, and not just because it's just going to be brief, because I'm not going to go into things that I know a lot of people want to talk about, because it doesn't pertain to me. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. That being said, it is the holiday season coming up, which segues to what I was just talking about. Please take the time to check in with everybody. Even if that's not your bestie, this is probably the hardest time of the year. People are apart from loved ones. People are going through things where they can't be with the person that they love, whether they're not together anymore, or life is gotten in the way, or all types of things, or people don't feel loved. This is the hardest time of the year. Now, I'm not saying go out there, put on a cape and crusade and give your last till you don't have no more. But even if you can't give financially or whatever, give emotionally when you can. Because if you're not there yourself, you really can't be there for somebody else. And that's just real talk. But just try, if you can, please just try to be there, because I know last year I lost somebody. I called them somebody may not, but I lost somebody who was so important to me. 10 years that person was in my life, and I lost them unexpectedly. And I will tell you, that was the hardest time for me last year. They passed away that August. I didn't want to do anything last holiday season. I didn't want to be around family. I didn't want to be around friends. I barely wanted to get out of bed. I was depressed, and I am in a better spot now that I can say that. I was so depressed. I didn't care about anything or anyone. Um, as a matter of fact, I fell out with someone shortly thereafter. And I can tell the story now because, again, I moved on and I moved past it. So the person was on the phone with me one night, and I was working. I was literally like working on my laptop, and the person was just picking and picking and picking at me. When I say picking, I wasn't giving him the attention that I guess he thought. And we had kind of just been snipping at each other. And I kept saying, and this is a true story, I kept saying, I was like, look, I'm working. Please don't do this. I literally was asking that person, please don't go there. Please don't get this. Please don't do it. They just kept going and going and going. I literally closed my laptop, and in the voice that I'm speaking to you now, I literally closed my laptop, and I was like, all right, you want it, here you go. And I said it just like that, and I went in. I literally told the person, I was like, why don't you do us both a favor and just stop breathing? I don't care how you do it, just stop breathing. And he paused, and he was like, you don't mean that. I was like, I absolutely do. I 100% I believe it. I was into it. I call that man everything but a child of God. And I can laugh about it. And I was laughing about it then, but I can laugh about it now for a different reason. And at the end of it, because he had no comeback, I laid into him for a good 7 to 10 minutes. I just did not breathe while I went in. And he was like, all right, well, I don't ever hear from you again. I don't want to talk to you again. You better not call and apologize. And I literally said, I'm not going to. Don't wait for it. Literally. And I meant it for the simple fact that he knew where I was at that point in my life, and he knew how I felt and what I was going through, and he still chose to pick. And that leads me to a segue that says, don't pick on people. Just don't pick at them, because you never know how they're going to come back. And to this day, I remember it. I remember it in the sense of, I let somebody get to me that bad. I should have just completely closed down until I was ready to have conversations in any capacity like that. But also, I meant what I said. I was not apologizing. And I wasn't apologizing because it's like, why should I apologize for giving you what you obviously wanted? And a lot of times people apologize just to apologize. I'm a big believer in, you know what you're doing and you know what you're saying before you do it. People give people way too much credit when, oh, they didn't know. No, they knew. They absolutely 100% knew. That being said, don't apologize because you don't mean it. Because if you meant it, you wouldn't have done it. Does that make sense? Everybody says, oh, I did something in the heat of the moment. I'm telling that story to tell you that I did what I did to him. I said what I said to him, and I knew what I was saying. And I didn't apologize for it. And I never will. That's not me being mean, harsh, or anything. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is, you knew what you were doing. And I was prepared for any get back that he had for me. And that sounds like Billy Badass, but it's not. It's the truth. You have to be ready for any consequence that you have coming towards you. But again, I say that because I was in a dark place, and I see what you said, Miss Carla. Miss Carla, thank you so much for saying that. But I stayed with the whole, it was one of those things. It taught me who was there. Now, I will say this. Also, that taught me who was down for me and who wasn't. And I'm going to tell you that my friends who have been with me for 20 years and plus, some of them 10, some of them 5, but definitely the ones who were 20 plus were ride or die then. Very ride or die. They were there for me. They checked on me even when I was lying to myself. And that's real talk. When I was lying to myself, telling myself that I was okay, they knew. Not even my own family knew what I was going through behind that. So I share all of that because, again, we are entering the holiday season, and it is so important. Even if that person experienced a hardship, a death, a loss of a relationship, a loss of a friendship, loss of a job, anything that they have been going through, if it happened in May, June, or July, anytime, it's going to come back up around the holiday season. So please, please, please check on people because you just never know. And I have heard, and I'm sure people who are listening to this have heard it as well. People will always say, oh, I've been busy, I've been this. You are never too busy, ever, to send a text message. Hell, if they change their phone number, send an email. Y'all know y'all got each other's credentials. Y'all know you know how to get in contact with people. You're never too busy. And that is the most important. Never be too busy to be a human being. Now, don't be checking in on people just to get the tea. Don't be checking in on people just to have a leg up. I mean, well, hell, you can do that. I just don't want that blowback when it comes. But definitely just check in. And understand that people do, and I don't want to use the word react, but that's the only word that will fit. Understand that people will react to things in their own way. You cannot tell people how to react. You can't. And I will use Chopper on that because I don't know Chopper like that in the sense of I've known of him for over a year. But I don't know him like that to be like, oh, he shouldn't have done this. Or I will never say that about Chopper. From what I know of Chopper, he generally does not go in on people unless they go in on him. So nobody can dictate how he goes in. Just like, and I will broadly brush this, it's going to be a quick brush too. I saw somebody in doxing. Okay, let me just clear this up. The definition of doxing is utilizing information for a negative impact, meaning you can look up anything on anybody that you want. That is under the Freedom of Information Act or the Patriot Act. It was signed into Congress after September 1st. No, what was it? September 11th, 2001. So after 9/11, that's when that became law. So thank your congressman for that. Anywho, you can look up anything that you want on anybody, but it all depends on how you're going to have to use it or how you want to use it. Say you want to use it for this person has been making threats, blah, 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 and you want to go to the authorities. You have the right to do so. You have the right to pull up that information. You have the right to do so. The cops will tell you that to your face. Feel free to ask them. Now, if you do it to slut shame, to bash them for anything, for gender, sex, anything like that, that's when it becomes doxing. So I just wanted to segue into that. I did see where somebody pulled up some information, and everybody's been doing it, so it's going to be a real broad brush, because somebody had pulled up information on them. Some people will disagree with the clapback that occurred. I cannot disagree or agree. I can only say I can't tell that person how to clap back, for the simple fact I don't know the impact that the original person took. That's as far as I'm going in on it. And I say that for the overall, like, hey, but I will ask, did you feel any better? Did you feel better after you did it? And are you prepared for whatever clapback may come? That's not an indirect threat, nothing like that. It's called karma. It's called the way of life. People just don't stop. Back in the day, you can get in a fight with somebody and that fight just happened. It is what it is. Now people want to go down to the death of them. And you know that, whether it's verbal or physical, people won't let it go. Like, it's just like, go to your corners. You both got scratches. Heal, move on. Now, people want to put people 6 feet under. So it sounds like it's funny, but it's not funny. Hi, Miss Catrice. Sorry, I just saw it. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I'm just talking. And yes, happy Sunday to everybody. Just happy day, any day. But basically, guys, because I know everybody's quiet, and that's fine. Please be quiet about this, because I don't want to be involved with whatever's going on. It's just looking at things and saying, this isn't going to end well. Someone's going to get to the point where it's just not going to end well. And that's the saddest part about it. But like I said, look back and make sure that the people are okay. Whether you support one side, the other side, both sides, no side, if you care, just make sure that everybody is okay, because that's the most important thing. With that being said, because let's see, I was 7 minutes late. No, 6 minutes late. I am keeping myself on schedule, y'all. So I'll be off in 6 minutes, because I really do have to do my podcast, and then I have to do 2 videos for my other channels. So again, that's why I was like, oh, look, there's an email. I got to get on top of that. But I really wish everybody, and I will check in weekly. So please, this will be a weekly thing now. I do hope that people engage and people talk about it, and people feel comfortable with talking about it, whether they're talking about their personal lives in the sense of, yo, I'm going through something too. I'm not going to give you all the details. Poking the bear, right? And even though bears do hibernate, Miss Carla, in the wintertime, if you poke it long enough, it will get up. It will get up. And I'm just, honestly, guys, please just check in on people. Somebody needs to hear that message. Someone needs to get checked on. Because people, you just never know. You just never know. And yes, I did hear about the individual who, and I say I heard because I literally heard it 3 channels in, meaning somebody watched the interview who did commentary. Somebody did commentary on the commentary, and then somebody did commentary on both commentary and interview, which means that I was like 3 channels removed. That being said, I did hear about the person who stated that they tried to end their own life because of how they were made to feel and how apologetic they were. And I just want to say there's something deeper to that. Not deeper to that person was saying something and they're not really telling the truth. No, that person is going through a lot more than just what's on the surface. So that is my classic example, is check on people. Some people can't handle rejection. Maybe that person was getting rejected in their inner circle personal life and that just pushed them over the edge. Maybe. I don't know. But to try an action like that and then to talk about it so soon after, there is something deeper there. So if anybody knows that person and they know them on the superficial level or they know them on a kind of intimate level, check on that person. Because that's a raw wound. And it's not going to heal no time soon. And that's why I said you never know. So that being said, quick wrap up. I do wish everybody a very prosperous week. I hope that the things that you are most wanting in your life come to fruition for you. I hope that all the love and the kindness that is shown upon you, you are able to reciprocate that to someone who is in need. And most of all, I hope that any part of this brief conversation that we had resonates with you in some way and you're able to share it with someone else. And with that, I will give you back your time because I have a very, very structured day. And then I still got to cook because it is Sunday. So I still got to cook Sunday dinner. I cook for everybody but me, it seems like. But with that, I do bid you all adieu and have a blessed day. Take care. Bye.